The market for veteran, vintage and classic cars boomed after the global financial crisis of 2007-2008, and there's still plenty of speculation and an associated industry around how this area might perform as a financial investment. Now, I enjoy old cars, but not for their possible capital gains. I like how a wide variety of quirky vehicles represented the life and times of the period in which they were apart. Recently, I drove down an inner city street and saw a bright yellow Nissan Figaro with the owner standing nearby. I had to stop and have a chat. The most expensive classic cars are several thousand times the price of a Figaro, but the little Nissan has a story and is part of motoring history. Add to the owner's passion is his day-to-day job in helping people with a disability get the appropriate modern vehicle. The name Figaro is best known as the comic character in the plays and operas The Barber of Seville and The Marriage of Figaro. Nissan marketed a car called the Figaro in 1991. It was a little vehicle with noddy car comic looks, but appropriate for the time. It is a look that Daihatsu paid homage to with its 2002 Copen, which, among other things, in the Kath and Kim comedy show. John is one of the people who love them. He has done a beautiful restoration on a bright yellow one with a white roof. The Figaro is a fixed-sided convertible, which means the sides remain in place while the convertible part rolls back like the opening of a tin of sardines. John began by explaining how that works.
Yeah, well, it can open at the top. It goes in the boot, but once you do that, you've got no room. You've got a tiny boot in the back, but you can basically put a box of biscuits in. That's about it.
You said they won awards.
They won awards because they were built in 91. They're a retro style. If you look inside, you'll see all the little buttons and stuff are seashells. Yeah, they're seashells. And it's got a 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo. They only came in automatic. A lot of people in Japan have converted them to manuals. They've got a cult following in England, like huge. They remanufacture parts even. And even the roof I've got for this, it comes from England. And they remanufacture a lot of parts for them because the market's that big.
How did you find this one, and particularly why?
Well, normally what I do is I'm an agent now, and I bring in disability vehicles for people through abilityclassifieds.com. And it's a place where you can advertise new and used, and sell and convert unwanted and no longer needed mobility and daily living items. But because I was involved in the industry, I just thought I wouldn't waste that knowledge. And I'd bring in disability vehicles. But I saw this one in the auctions in Japan, and it needed a lot of work, it needed resto. So I basically got it very, very cheap. And I knew where there was one what was in a flood here, in not the recent floods, the floods before, and the guy promised it to me. So I was happy I bid for this car and I got it. And then when I rang the guy up, I said, I'm ready to pick the car up. Oh, I sold it. So I was stuck with it. So I ended up paying big papers, importing parts and all sorts of stuff. So I'm relatively finished. All I have to do is fit the roof on it, which is just a skin, vinyl skin, and that's it. The car's finished.
You did the work?
I did everything. Yeah, everything from the seats. I restored the seats, the dash, power steering. What else did I do? There was one door that seemed to have a lot of rust in it, yet the rest of the car was perfect. So we had to basically fabricate the door because I couldn't get one, the skin for it, and repaired that. What else did we do? Oh, it's no we, me. All the interior seats, carpets, everything I've done. Did a bit of electrical work as well, needed. But she's ready to go now. Besides just a coating on the dash pad and fitting the skin on the roof, but it's ready to go.
This has got some sort of sign on the side of it. What's that about?
They won awards in 1991. One of the biggest selling cars in Japan in 1991. There was something like the attack of the Figaros in Japan. They were everywhere. They're kind of like the Alpha Sud, add water and they rust. So it's hard to find good ones. And like I said, this one was weird because it did have rust in the door, but nowhere else. So it was a really good project. So it's a nice, clean car and a lot nicer now. Put a lot of time and elbow grease, and they're not cheap cars. Like, they're big papers. They're very expensive. They range from about, for rubbish, from about 20,000 plus, right up to about 45,000.
What are you going to do with it?
I haven't really decided yet. I've put a lot of work in it. I might keep it for a while, but eventually, I have to sell it because I'm not going to make any money after I got let down with the other car. I'll be lucky to get square, but it doesn't matter. I really enjoy putting the car together.
It's like a jigsaw, it's like a project, a hobby and whatever, that you must have a great sense of satisfaction when it's done.
I really, really do. I really, really do, because I look at it and, like, even that dash was a nightmare. I'm looking at it now and thought, that's pretty good. And the interior, all the seats are ripped and damaged, and I repaired them all myself. And
so you did the leather work, or is it plastic?
It's vinyl and plastic work, really, and there's a way to repair it. Upholsterers don't like to repair because they want to, sell you new seats and stuff, but you can actually repair them properly. And a lot of guys that come around will repair them, but to repair them properly takes time. You can patch them up and they look like new, and then after a few months they'll fall to bits. But if you can repair them properly and permanently, there's a technique to do it. I kind of invented the technique for my dash, but I basically watched YouTube and worked out the seats, and it's...
This is going to last.
Yeah, it'll last. It's permanent, yeah. If anything, stronger. For colour match, there's a place in Girraween. I had all the paints and stuff colour matched. They got high tech and they scan the colours and it matches it exactly.
Have you had one before?
I used to be in the business and we used to bring them in and sell them.
What, new?
No. Just restored ones or second-hand ones, really nice, clean ones. Basically JDM, Japanese Domestic Market Vehicles, which has got a huge following in Australia, like GDRs, Fast and Furious, 31s, 32s, 33s, 34s, even 35s now, so we can bring in whatever's eligible under the RAW's rules, and Rover, which is a new system for importing vehicles.
Slightly different category to the hot Nissans.
Yeah, but they're collectible. They're all JDM and they're all collectible. Anything collectible and desirable, anything from an Evo, an Evo, like Mitsubishi Evolution, MR8 or something or whatever, or a GSR, to a Nissan Figaro, or even, a Nissan All Grand People Mover, or the Toyota Estima, which is the Japanese Tarago.
Is that an appreciation of the culture as much as not only that of the mechanics of the car? Because they're so widely different.
Well, they're not 100% widely different. What they are is, if you buy an Estima in Japan, it's got a different VIN number, it's identical cars, it's the same car as a Tarago, you get a better fit and finish. You get more options because the Japanese demand more, and us Aussies always more complacent and keep quiet. Like, I compare the Taragos here to the Japanese ones, a tin can, because you get a tin can, a Speedo and a liner for your carpet. Yeah, thank you. With the Japanese ones, you get electric doors, sunroofs, dual sunroofs, climate control, collision radar, leather seats, you name it, it's got it.
And again, back to this one, you've driven, I guess, quite a few. How would you describe the driving experience?
Well, they're actually quite solid on the road. They're not. They. What's a good example? Like, when you get in the Benz, it's solid, and heavy on the road. It's not a light car, so it sticks to the road really nicely. That little turbo, it's zippy. I wouldn't say it's a slug. It's zippy and good in traffic. They're great to drive. You can have a lot of fun with them.
They don't bounce about?
No, not at all. No, they handle really, really well. And you feel safe in it because it's a solid little car.
You're about 6 foot, would you be? Did you fit into it quite well?
Yeah, my head doesn't pop out at the top. Yeah, it's comfortable. But in the back, it's got 2 seats. And unless you've got 2 Lilliputians, forget about it. It's good for shopping. Or 2 little kids is okay. But the back seats, even though it's complied for 4 people, but seriously, it's tiny in the back. But you could daily drive this car every day. It's economical and it's a good fun car and an investment.
John, that has been lovely. Thank you very much for your time.
You're very, very welcome.
And that was John, the proud owner of a Nissan Figaro.